Take 10. Hello, hello, welcome. Okay. So, wow, this has been a really, really long time coming, and I'm so excited to finally share the goods with you guys. Ever since 2017, I have really dived into the metaphysical realm. I've been working with clients all over the world and have been shifting things in the quantum realm for them and tapping into that and meditating for hours at a time during the day and learning about the chakras and the metaphysical realm and how to use the spirit guides and how to leverage energetics so that you have to do very little in the physical realm because all of your power lies in the energetic realm because you are not just this skin suit. Okay. You zip up a skin suit to come down here on earth and live this human experience, but you are a spiritual being living a human experience, not a human who has spiritual encounters every now and again. So Abraham Hicks talks a lot about this non-physical part of you that still remains the greater part of you. It's like 99% of you still remains non-physical. Where is that? What is that? Some people call it a soul. I call it the light body, the chakras. And then you have your aura, your electromagnetic spectrum around you. So you're a whole lot more than just the physical body that you see and that you're walking and operating in. It's a vehicle. And I want to start at the very beginning. I wanted to dive right into what the chakras are because I'm so passionate about that. But let's start at the very beginning. What is happening on our planet right now? Because you don't need me to tell you that shit's crazy right now. What's happening on our planet right now is that we're at a precipice, a launching pad for human evolution like we've never been before. And you've heard about all the astrological cycles that come through every 25,000 years. We are now opening up to the mouth of a golden age. We are having light codes reactivating. Our planet in itself is actually going through a massive shift in consciousness right now. It is going from a third density planet into a fifth density planet. And so we have massive shifts happening there. A couple of resources where you can actually see the data of this happening is the Schumann Resonance, which is like the heartbeat of the earth. It's a frequency and it'll show on a graph where there's lots of light coming in. And sometimes there's blackout periods. And then sometimes, there's other things going on. That's a really, really awesome resource where you can actually see that a lot is changing in Mother Earth. Also, another thing is that the amount of solar flares that are coming off of the sun right now. So when these solar flares, like literally balls of fire and pieces of the light from the sun comes off and like falls off and our planet gets kind of inundated with these big bursts of light, these huge big influxes of light that our planet is getting. And the NASA has been recording those forever. And I remember in May of last year, they had come out with an article that said in the last 2 years, they have seen more frequent and more intense solar flares than they had in the previous 20 years combined. And so that was last year in May. And I know that they've just been getting even more intense and more frequent since then. More and more light's been coming into our planet and shifting and changing everything. We're seeing a lot of dark to light. We're seeing a lot of disclosure. We're seeing a lot of corruption and lies coming into exposure, and for people to see it and for it to be exposed. And it's an uncomfortable feeling. It's an uncomfortable shift that's happening because a lot of the old paradigms that we were rooted into, a lot of the old belief systems, they're crumbling, and we're grasping at things that we can actually believe in. I'm noticing a huge shift in people's root chakras, as a side note, since 2020, that they are no longer rooted into any sort of a system like a matrix, but they are instead rooted into yourself, your physical and emotional and spiritual body. And people are becoming more whole as a sovereign being. And that's why we're seeing this influx of people that are super interested in spirituality now, like chakras and meditation. Even psychedelics are making a comeback, right? Expanding in consciousness, and a lot of people are having all sorts of, kundalini type rising energy happening within them. Something is happening in them. They are, they're not part of the old system. They're like, I'm in for more than just coming here to work inside the system and pay bills. I feel like I have a life purpose. I feel like I'm here for, meant for more. This world is crazy, it's chaos, and yet throughout all of this, the light beings are finding each other. And there's going to be a really, really exciting time in the future of humanity where I believe that all of the people that are having this little rise up of energy behind the scenes, maybe silent right now, are all going to come together to create the new earth. But back up, back up, back up, back up. What's actually happening on our planet right now is an actual ascension process. And when you hear these terms of raise your vibration and raise the vibrational frequency of the planet, with all of this light that is coming in, and with our planet going through a shift from a third density planet into a fifth density planet, this shift is called the ascension process. And so your job in part of the ascension process is to do the things to raise your vibration and to alchemize energy, to understand energy. You came onto this planet to alchemize and manipulate energy. Dolores Cannon is an awesome resource, and she says that you basically come here to learn how to create. You're a creator, and you are able to see what is happening behind the physical realm, behind the veil, the world behind the one that we see with these eyes. You have a chakral body, everything is energy. You have an aura, you have that, there's this whole other world that is so interesting to tap into. And if you learn how to tap into it, then you have your spiritual superpowers. You have tapped into your psychic abilities, and you are fully actualizing your fullest potential. You know how they say you're only using about 10% of your brain? I believe that when people are using only 10% of their brain, they're using their analytical mind. And your analytical mind is only as good as the conditioning and the programming that's gone into it via the matrix. So when you transcend your physical body, when you transcend the analytical mind and you activate the chakras in the light body, it's the light body that is directly the gateway into the cosmic energy, into the cosmic frequency, into the metaphysical realm. It's the connection. It's the connection to your higher self, to the greater part of you that remains non-physical. And so I know I'm sliding a little bit of chakra stuff into here already because I get so excited. But I want to talk a little bit more about the shift that's happening on planet Earth right now. So if you're here watching this video, I have no doubt that you have already been noticing, how can you not, all the polarity that's happening on the planet right now. Maybe you see just like vastly different belief systems. Maybe you see two different timelines, however you want to call it, whatever your language is. It's no doubt that there seems to be a lot of polarity in the planet. So this polarity on the planet is 3D based. So when we're talking about 3D, it's a third density. The fourth density, you're like, what happened to number 4? Why are we talking 3D, 5D? So number 4 is like it's the mixed gateway. You don't want to get too stuck in that middle ground, but it's the transition between the 3D and the 5D. Okay, so the 3D is made up of like victim mentality, war, materialism, control, world dominance, polarization, duality, rules, control. And if we think about like the 3D timeline, I always think about like the 3D matrix, right? Like the new world order coming in, the fear-based programming, the everybody's going to be living in a surveillance society where, the elites at the top are going to be controlling everything. That is the 3D timeline. Same with the people that are lining up to get their 5th booster and believe that the government is all for them, and that, they're just eating it up. That would be somebody that is completely stuck in the matrix, working their 9 to 5, going home, eating, cereal and garbage and binge watching TV and playing video games, and somebody that is just and social media and has no idea of anything more going on. That is like the end of the pendulum to through the 3D. Then we have a lot of individuals that through COVID actually was a huge catalyst to wake people up to this greater sense. Something's not right with the old matrix. I don't know what's coming new. What is in the middle of this? Even like, who am I and what is my purpose here? And I have questions. And so the 4D, the transition is where a lot of you have been, or a lot of you are right now. It's kind of this middle ground. And we are here right now with a lot of people. If somebody tries to tell you that they're fully on the 5D timeline, I call bullshit, because we're all human still. And as a collective, we're all still going through this shift. So we're going from this ego-based service to self, duality, control from the top down, rules, materialism, hard work, linear thinking, fear-based programming, matrix, into this middle ground of I'm a conscious being. I'm waking up to the fact that I'm more than just this physical body. Having more understanding, getting curious about your inner self, your chakras, your thoughts, getting a little bit into meditation, more connectedness, more of a flexible reality. Maybe everything's not so black and white. Expanding consciousness, challenging your old self, doing shadow work. We'll get into that later. Seeking answers, understanding cosmic structure, feeling more compassion, starting to feel more empathic, starting to recognize things and sense a little bit more energy, noticing universal synchronicities, remembering things, remembering who you really are in a sense. So that is like, people are starting to get curious and they're moving into that. Now, where we are going into the fifth density planet. So this is a unity consciousness. This is a love consciousness. This is aligning with the divine. I believe that individuals that are going to expand their consciousness into the fifth density are going to be heart-centered, soul-led, connected individuals who want prosperity for all, who want peace and love and abundance and flow state. They realize that they're co-creating, they're not competing against each other, they're not surviving, they're thriving, they're helping everyone be purpose-based and living out their soul mission, their soul purpose. Connection amongst people. They're feeling guided and supported. They get together. There's community. There's universal knowledge. There's a lot of light, and really each individual aligning with their divinity. And we see people breaking apart from the matrix and the system and being able to see it for what it is. And it's so funny because now I don't know where you guys are in the process, but I can see the matrix. Like when I'm out in public, it's like I can't even watch a second of TV because I know that it's propaganda. I know that it's part of the matrix. It's the 3D. All of the fear narratives, everything that is meant to keep you distracted and stuck in that. And 2024 in particular is going to be this year of a lot of distraction. Look here, here's a bomb, here's a bridge falling apart, here's a war, look here, now this man's setting himself on fire, now there's protests here, now there's like, it's just never ending. And we're only in April and we've seen so much happening already. Hollywood's crashing, so much stuff. But it's not going to end. Okay. So you and I together are on this journey to find balance and find peace and really connect with what matters, and dropping into yourself and getting curious about what is happening at a spiritual level, at a conscious level within you, using the chakras, using your higher spiritual faculties, making sure that you are creating your own reality and you are creating however much you heal is your token into the collective. So if everybody does their shadow work, does their healing, meditates, starts to connect to the divine, then you see how the whole world could have this massive increase in ascension. And we are already doing that. It's happening. People are getting really curious about all of that. And so I always say that the amount of healing that you do on an individual basis is your token into the collective. And so hopefully there's more and more people on this train. I definitely see a lot of people that are hopping onto this train.